Elden Ring, a game known for being hard, has New Game Plus, which lets you replay the game while carrying over your equipment, but at a higher difficulty. There are 8 total difficulty levels starting with regular New Game up to the max of New Game Plus 7. Each level will make the bosses do more damage, have more health, and stagger less often. My goal is to beat all 8 difficulties in a row without dying a single time. Die to a boss, reset to the beginning. Die in the open world, reset to the beginning. Fall off a cliff, reset to the beginning. For my own sanity, I hope I can get this run within 3 attempts. I was also competing with my good friend V-Swed on this challenge, so make sure you go give him a follow on Twitch. Now, from the intro, you saw that I have a pretty strong build for this challenge that I used to get past Godric, Radon, and Morgott. Let's talk about how I made it. The weapon is the Death Poker, at least for now. I will use multiple builds to help me through this challenge. It has a crazy powerful weapon art that does really high magic damage. I know it's called Ghost Flame Ignition, but trust me, it does magic damage. I got this weapon by using the Meteorite Staff and Rock Sling while standing safely on this rock behind the Deathbird. Importantly, Death's Poker is a somber weapon, which is really good for the beginning of the game because it's so much easier to get somber smithing stones than it is to get regular smithing stones. I get to +4 from EG, +6 by visiting Volcano Manor, and +9 from the Lanedell Sewers and Dragon Barrow. My levels are really simple. I level up health and I level up intelligence. That's it. For talismans, Radagon's Source Seal is good up until around 40 vigor, where I will replace it. Ritual Shield, probably the best defense talisman in the game. Ritual Sword synergizes with Ritual Shield and gives me a 10% damage buff. I don't yet have access to a good 4th talisman, but they will be available after Godskin Duo. And finally, for buffs, I use the Physic Flask with the Intelligence tier and the Magic tier to deal more damage, and I use the Golden Vow Ash of War on a dagger for 12% extra damage and defense. Just like you get 12% extra damage and defense if you subscribe. I'm lying, it won't do that, but it will make sure you get notified every time I do another ridiculous challenge. But that's the early game build. Now it's time to travel to mountaintops and take on Fire Giant. I didn't even Golden Vow. Not close enough. Fire Giant gave me an important reminder that in this challenge, discipline is everything. Even one small mistake can cost hours of progress. Lucky for me, I get to learn this lesson without needing to reset. Godskin Duo is up next, and honestly, with damage this high combined with sleep pots, they shouldn't be a problem on any of the 8 playthroughs. They are important though, because just past them are 2 very good talismans that this build can make thorough use of. Dragon Crest Shield +2 gives an additional 17% physical damage resistance, and Shard of Alexander will boost my Ghost Flame Ignition damage by 15%. Malekith goes down pretty easily, and Gideon is up next. As strange as it sounds, Gideon is one of the bosses that I was most concerned about on this run. He can really easily cause problems by just spamming all of his spells in a row, and I really didn't have much of a plan to deal with him. So I kinda just winged it. I thought that I could get his health pretty low with Death's Poker and then use a +0 blood-infused rapier to finish off whatever was left, and that led to this disaster of a fight. Yeah. Off. I do not trust this to consistently work, and I need it to work 8 times in a row Otherwise, I reset like 12 hours of progress. And that's a good reminder that I should probably have a plan. No more of this winging it. The good news is, though, the hardest part is behind us. Horaloo, Radagon, and Elden Beast all fall without much of a problem, at least this time. But before I go to New Game Plus 1, I need to gather a couple of things that would be annoying to get after the world resets. The Opaline Hard tier is very useful, giving 15% damage resistance to every damage type. I didn't get it earlier because it's from a pretty high level boss and I didn't want to risk dying. 2 buffs become available at the Twin Maidens after beating Gideon. Since they're both body buffs, that means that they will stack with Golden Vow. Black Flame's Protection gives a massive 35% physical damage resistance, which will be useful for almost every boss. And Lord's Divine Fortification gives an even bigger 60% holy damage negation buff that I won't use as much, but should be incredible in the Elden Beast and Radagon fights. I also bought Radagon's armor set, which will be my endgame armor. You may be surprised that I'm not going for the Bull Goat set since it has high resistances, but I believe for this run, Radagon's set is better. That's because Radagon's armor has about 95% of the resistances of Bull Goat, but it's much lighter and, more importantly, way less risky to get. Then I picked up all of the Smithing Stone bell bearings so that I could fully level any weapon that I might need in the future. At this point, the build is pretty well set up and it's time to go to New Game Plus. I know some of you are probably asking how I'm getting out of the Chapel of Anticipation at the beginning of the game without dying, and it's actually pretty simple. If you get beaten up by this Scion in the beginning, you don't actually die. Your health doesn't go to 0, instead it just goes to 1. There's no "you died" screen, and you just get teleported to the Stranded Graveyard. After that, it's time to speedrun some bosses. After having some time to think about what strategy I should use against Gideon for the rest of the challenge, I had an epiphany and remembered that Frenzied Burst is really good against AI-controlled player characters. So I picked that up along with the Golden Order Seal since that scales really well with intelligence, and now this should work pretty well. As promised, I'm not just going to use the same build for the entire run. The Starfists are another phenomenal weapon that are the base for a top tier build. I put the Ash of War Cragblade onto the Starfist. This is a weapon buff, meaning that it stacks with Golden Vow and whatever body buff I'm using, and it increases physical damage by 15% and poise damage by 10%, meaning enemies will stagger with less hits. I also use the Heavy Attunement for the best scaling, and that also means that I need to respec into a heavy strength build, so most of my intelligence points are now going towards strength. I need 30 faith to be able to cast all of my incantations, and the rest goes to vigor and endurance. I also need to replace my Golden Order Seal with the Clawmark Seal, since the Clawmark Seal is the only one that actually makes spells better with strength levels. For talismans, I replace Shard of Alexander with the Axe Talisman since I won't be dealing damage with weapon arts with this weapon, and for the physic, I replace the magic damage tier with the charged attack tier and leave the Opaline tier in there for the extra damage resistance. The last thing to round out the build is Flame Grant Me Strength. This gives 20% extra physical and fire damage, but it is a body buff, meaning that I would have to sacrifice Black Flame's Protection, so I will only be using it when it's okay to not be as tanky. And now it's time to speedrun some more bosses. This is honestly the easiest point in the challenge because I now have a fully set up build and strategy, but the bosses still aren't scaled super high. So from about New Game Plus 2 to New Game Plus 4, I really don't run into any issues. The further in I get though, the more stressful it becomes because any simple mistake is representing a larger and larger reset and time waste. Cliff ledges start becoming unreasonably scary. Like, it would really make my hands crazy sweaty. I would probably single-handedly fix the Californian drought on the ride up to Mountaintop of the Giants alone. But fortunately, the bosses are easy. At least until around New Game Plus 4 when their damage really starts ramping up. If I got caught in a Comet Azure by Renala or Gideon, that would probably kill me. But Barrier of Gold will be a good safety measure to help prevent that. And I was also thinking back to the first Fire Giant fight where I almost died to his Fire Breath in just regular New Game. So Flame Protect Me will help give me some peace of mind knowing that I will probably have enough fire resistance to make a mistake. Now that I'm in New Game Plus 5, things are definitely getting serious, but I just need to put my head down and get through the bosses as fast as possible while not panicking and not making too many mistakes. Here we are, New Game Plus 7, only one more playthrough until the challenge is done. This playthrough will be the most difficult, not just because the bosses do the most damage and have the most health, but also because my stress levels are the highest here. Any mistakes that lead to my death is a 13-hour waste of time that I would have to go back and do all over again. So I did my best to calm my mind and not let the pressure get to me. I'm a fucking idiot. He stood in the sauce too long. That's what you get, old sauce stander.
I am the Lord.
Not supposed to do that. Yeah, that's why. Oh, all right. None of this. Not this move. Come on, give me an actual move. Yeah, that'll work. Oh yeah, that's looking like the damage that I'm after. Bing. Come on, throw a spear, old ween boy. Yeah, he's getting healthier, that's for sure.
Thy part in this shall not be forgiven.
Nice try, fucking dweeb. What, you thought that was gonna kill me? You fucking nerd? Who do you think I am? Nice 21,000 juicer damage. New Game Plus 7 seems like a pretty substantial jump over New Game Plus 6. Oh, what am I doing? Okay, that's good RNG. Alright, see you later there, big dog. Okay. All right. Damn. I was really assuming that would got the stance break. I guess not. All right. Cool. Whatever. We'll take it. You having fun there, Gideon? Looks like you're having a real fun time. Oh. And you see that? That right there, that's why we got barrier gold. Oh yeah, we're getting into actual chunky boss territory now. These last two bosses seem like they scale way more with new games than the rest of the game. No, dude, that's so unlucky. Got the sprinting attack. Don't like that shit. Okay. Oh, fuck me then. Pete. Big meaty. Alright, we're good. Alright. I don't know why I thought I could strafe that. Damn, 7 charged heavies, dude? And no stagger? Jesus. You doing triple rings now? I should probably cast this again. That seems like a good idea. My, oh my. Please, brother. Stop running from me. Oh my fucking god. And there he goes again. Thank you. 60% holy resist. Lord's divine fortification. I appreciate you. Ran out of the 60% holy resist. It's all good though, because he's getting down, baby. Let's fucking go. Woo! And there it is, 8 playthroughs in a row without dying, completed in 14.5 hours. And I did it first try. I really surprised myself with this one. I did not think this was something I was going to be able to get done in just one attempt. Anyway, if you liked this video, I'm sure you'll also like this other video popping up on your screen right now. I also want to thank the channel members for purchasing early access to all of my challenge runs.